Thousands of passengers pass through airports each day without attracting attention. However, a passenger who has just arrived from the Philippines has caught Customs' eye. Officers are concerned about the length of his stay and his lack of knowledge about Sydney.
What made you decide to come to Sydney?
Holiday.
Yeah, but why? Why Sydney?
To see the beautiful places, sir, in your country.
But you don't know the beautiful places. You don't know anything about Sydney.
I have my itinerary there.
You have your itinerary, yeah. But that's all you know about Sydney.
One of my officers has just basically had a word to him, decided to search his bags. His story is very inconsistent. You know, your usual thing here for a very short period of time, really can't explain who or what he's going to see here. So we're just sort of really looking into it and seeing if there's a real reason for him to be here or not.
You know nothing else about Sydney?
No.
Nothing else at all?
I want only a holiday.
Only a holiday? You told me it's expensive.
Because I have a business in the place.
Yeah? In 1 month, how much money do you make?
30 or 50,000.
30 or 50,000 pesos?
Yeah, more.
Yeah? How much did you pay for your holiday?
60.
60? 60,000 pesos. So you spent over 1 month's salary on this holiday and you're coming for 3 nights?
3 nights and 4 days.
And you spent more than 1 month's salary? Yeah? You think that's funny? I'd be scared if I did that. That's a lot of money.
At Sydney's International Mail Centre, Customs Officer Kane has just made a shocking discovery in 2 packages sent from Thailand after spotting oddly shaped organic matter on X-ray.
Just run it back through the X-ray, and what were just clumps of organic material, now clearly you can see what looks like a snake.
On the X-ray, it appears there's 4 snakes within 2 parcels.
You can see the discernible head and the tail, and it's kind of, you can actually make out where it's attempted to get out of the box and made a break for its freedom. Our responsibility is to get them looked after as quickly as possible, so I'll refer this to our investigations unit who will have it seen to by a vet.
Many attempts have been made to smuggle animals into the country, and officers have come across some very cruel concealments. And many animals don't make it. It's now a matter of time to see if these snakes are still alive. With airlines operating a smoke-free policy, it's no surprise some smokers arrive at their destination tired and irritable. And today, this passenger brought with him 5 packets of cigarettes over the allowable limit. Although he's declared them, to keep them all, he must pay $100 excess duty. And he's not happy about it.
I know places to go. Australia, Sydney. I've been 35 years here. Find somebody else to do this. Not me, okay?
Because the man is so obviously upset, he is not giving Customs a chance to explain the procedure. If he can't afford to pay the excess now, the receipt officers want to give him will allow him to pick the cigarettes up at a later date.
Take it. I don't want a receipt. I don't want nothing. Take it and throw it in the rubbish. You understand that? Look off.
Customs investigating officer Adam takes the packages to specialist reptile handlers at Sydney's Taronga Zoo.
Excellent. Well, what we'll do, we'll just head into one of our rooms in the hospital here and we'll have a look at them and see if we can identify them. Okay.
It's an operation not without its risks.
You've confirmed that they're snakes, or
yeah? Both packages have been X-rayed.
Oh, hopefully they're well contained in there. What we'll do, Michael will help open the package and then we'll identify them. I mean, there's a chance that they're venomous, so we'll just have to be aware of that.
These animals have been trapped in uncomfortable, cramped conditions for days, and the handlers have no idea how they'll react when finally freed.
Nice boxes. There's a strong smell. Gee, very strong smell. Wow.
Cut the other side, I guess.
Sydney, customs are questioning a passenger who says he's here on a holiday. But with not a lot of money and holes in his story, officers Clorinda and Greg decide to dig deeper.
Do you know anybody in Australia? Do you have family in Australia?
No.
Nobody?
Nothing.
Okay. And you came here because your friend, a girl, she comes here every year and she told you it was very nice. Okay.
You say you have a friend that has been to Australia before?
Yeah.
Yeah? Who was that?
She always...
A girl?
No. She's always attending
Conventions.
every year.
What did she tell you about Sydney?
She told me the beautiful places and she... What is this? She told me.
You have come to Sydney because your friend has told you it's a beautiful place. I want to know what she
I
told
want
you.
also to see that place.
What place?
Yes, the heron veterinary,
What did the tour operator book for you?
the two.
You wanted to come to Sydney to see an aquarium
Yeah, and the harbour tower.
and the harbour tower.
Tower.
The tower.
Yeah.
Clearly, the man's story doesn't hold up, and the plot thickens when Clorinda finds a message to the passenger from a friend.
And it says, you've chosen Australia, good luck. But when you get there, this is what you say. You're there for a holiday because one of your girlfriends has been there every year and really likes it and recites basically what he's told us.
He said he earns 30 to 50,000 a month and he paid 60,000 for this trip.
Yeah, that's right. It doesn't make sense.
Doesn't add up. You don't,
no,
I said,
what-
you don't spend more than a month's salary on a 3-night holiday.
No. What we're going to work out now is it DEMA or is it our interest?
So Clorinda confronts the passenger.
Why did your friend tell you to say to us when you come to Australia that? Why did they give you a story to tell us? Why?
Okay, find somebody else to do this one. Do I break the law? Do I break the law? Do I break the law? I'm asking you. No. So leave me alone. Find somebody else, please.
Customs are trying to explain that this passenger only needs to pay $100 duty in order to keep all his cigarettes.
Please. Enough. You asked me for $100.
Or he can forfeit them and be on his way. But it seems the passenger can't contain his emotions or his teeth.
I don't have no money to fix my tooth, and you asked me $100 to buy you for bloody 100 cigarettes. Enough. Please. Enough. Give me the receipt, this one. Give me my passport, that's mine, it's not yours. It belongs to me, give me my passport, right? No! That's not passport! Not belongs to you. Leave me alone. Get out of here. That's it.
Reptile handlers assisting customs are about to open a box containing a live snake that was sent from Thailand and intercepted at Sydney's International Mail Centre.
Do you want to pop him in a bag? Whoa, very nice. You can tell already what they are.
It looks like a little chondro python,
Little
yeah.
chondro python, yeah. That's
Nice colour.
That'd
Totally harmless.
be a juvenile colour, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. And this colour phase for a juvenile isn't very common, so it'd probably go for anything between $5,000 and $10,000 of
Are
money.
these guys native to Thailand?
No, they're not.
No.
They're Papua New Guinea, so it's probably moved across to there and then from Thailand across.
Probably not originating in Thailand.
Unfortunately, the illegal import of exotic reptiles is all too common. It's a market Customs is trying to bring down.
From an Australian customs point of view, we treat it extremely serious. Quite often we'll go out and execute search warrants on premises and find illegal reptiles and so forth, which indicate that there is, a large market.
Unsure of exactly what species they'll uncover next, the reptile handlers carefully open 2 more boxes.
We've got him out, we have a slide. He might be curled up because he's afraid or because he's not well.
Interesting, it looks like, in fact, just looking at the markings there, that he's probably been in there a fair while actually, because he's been rubbing along there. So yeah, that looks like, just from the movement in there, probably been in there a fair while and possibly a bit distressed, not surprisingly. There you go, that's another one. This one looks a better nick than that last one anyway. Yeah, that last one looked like, you know, it was a bit weaker, and obviously there's evidence of the bruising on its head, but this one looks pretty good, eh?
He does, he looks good. He's very young.
Certainly had some interesting confiscations, and the way people conceal these things, it's quite amazing.
If customs officers had not intercepted these packages, these snakes could have ended up in the hands of an illegal exotic animal importer.
The big problem with quarantine, or one of the challenges, is actually trying to determine what these animals potentially could bring in, because they could be harbouring a virus that will spread to our native reptiles and you know, could devastate wild populations. So, you know, you need to be very, very careful. That's the bottom line, you know, that's what biosecurity is all about, is protecting our native wildlife and our trade and everything, so, and human health as well. So.
But as customs is about to find out when the final box is opened, it's not just our native wildlife that's at risk from this very cruel illegal trade.
So this one's not good.
In Sydney, customs officers Clorinda and Greg have been talking to a Filipino man and have uncovered some interesting information in his belongings.
Who told you to say, when you come to Australia, to say you have a friend who comes on a conference and that you're here for a holiday? Who told you to say that?
My friend.
Your friend told you. Why did she tell you that? Why?
Spend my holiday.
Listen, I'm going to ask you to be honest,
Yeah.
because otherwise we're going to be here for a very long time, okay? So it is in your best interest to probably tell me why you are in Australia. I have had a look through everything, so you know you are not here for a holiday, okay?
Yeah.
So don't try and tell me. Let's fix the problem rather than make the problem bigger. Do you understand?
What has officers concerned is the man's recent short trips to Hong Kong and China, which could be a connection to narcotics.
The only thing that's got me going is the trip to Hong Kong and
Even
China.
he lied about the days, like I was asking about his
Yeah,
trip.
see, that's...
He was in Hong Kong for one night,
Yeah,
China one night, and then back to Hong Kong for one night.
yeah, and then back to the Philippines.
Yeah, it was
and
a
then,
3-day trip, one
Yeah.
night, and then they on either side of it. I asked him what he did in China, and he didn't know.
No.
As a precaution, they decide to conduct a frisk search.
What I'm going to do is detain you for a frisk search under the Customs Act.
To me, give me my passport, right? No!
In Sydney, an irate passenger is causing a commotion in customs. He's furious that he must pay duty on his cigarettes because he's exceeded his duty-free allowance. And he's taking it out on customs officers trying to do their job.
Besides him snatching a passport out of my hands, hasn't really committed any offences. He's been very abusive and, you know, it might have escalated into something more physical.
The passenger refuses to hand his passport over and tries to leave the airport.
Sir, come and grab your baggage.
So in an attempt to settle him, Officer David tries to sit the man down in an interview room.
I'm under arrest or something? I'm under arrest or something?
Very agitated for some
No, if you told me this one, I gotta give a call. I gotta give a call to somebody coming here to take care of the place.
Sir, stop here. Sir. I think he's very stressed. He's probably in need of a cigarette, but we're going to do our job first before we let him out the door. He's given two options. Option one, he pays, he's out the door. Option two, he doesn't pay, we fill a receipt, he's out the door. Okay, this isn't helping anyone.
But you never say to the people the truth. You officers, you check one by one my papers. Where you from? Come from? Why you marry? Why you go to Vietnam? Why you go this one? What is this papers? Where you live, sir? You know where I'm living here. You know everything. Where this tablet? Tablet, my doctor give it to me for my husband. You say, why this tablet? You can read English, anything and everything. You ask me to pay you for 100 cigarettes extra for over $100. I'm asking you, is that fair? Did you find anything break the law?
That
No.
is the law.
This is what law? What law?
The Customs Act.
The custom.
Customs
Yeah,
Act.
I buy over for a 100 cigarettes extra to buy
Alright.
over $100.
If you have more than 250 cigarettes, as you've declared, you
Yeah.
tick yes. You have not committed any offence.
Yeah, so what?
So I don't know why you're angry.
Yeah.
You're
The
angry
passenger's
because-
refusal to hand over his passport and continued aggressive behaviour could leave officers with no choice but to call protective services. Officers have conducted a frisk of this passenger and found nothing, but they are still suspicious about the possibility that both the passenger and his local contact are here illegally. And now Clorinda goes on the offensive.
So I know what's going on. So I know she's here, I know she's going to meet you. All I am asking you is she meeting you in the airport or is she going to meet you at the hotel? Where is she going to meet you?
The airport.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm going to bring her here to have a chat, okay? Thanks.
While Clorinda searches for the man's contact, Greg continues to question him.
Picking this up as you go along.
And his story continues to change.
I don't friend here.
You don't have a friend here.
Yeah.
You just told the other officer that went outside that it was your friend. Is it your friend or not?
No.
So who is outside?
I don't know.
Clorinda returns empty-handed. The passenger was referred to immigration, who confirmed that he was here to work illegally.
You take her.
The passenger was returned to the Philippines the next day.
Beautiful. Just look at his face anymore. All right, mate. You ready?
In Sydney, reptile handlers are assisting customs officers after finding snakes in packages sent from Thailand. 3 were found alive, but they've just discovered one didn't survive the journey.
Yeah, this animal's dead.
Okay, he's probably where the smell is coming from.
Yeah, this is interesting because he's looked quite decomposed, so it's quite possible then that they've actually may have been in there much longer than 2 days.
It's definitely never pretty, particularly an animal like this, which is such a great animal, being found dead and rotten. Yeah, definitely not good at all.
Although the snake died, the criminals who illegally export these creatures to careless collectors consider it worth the risk.
And the sad part is we lose these species all the time, and this is all for maybe 1 or 2 getting through safely, and it's worth $10,000 for a box like that. I mean, we're talking drug levels of money, which is why AQUIS and Customs are so vital, because they're screening this stuff and it's making it harder and harder for these guys to do this. And the sheer cruelty of packing these animals in like this with death as a result is just not conscionable, you know.
Customs Officer Adam will now take the 3 surviving snakes to quarantine, who will decide exactly what to do with them.
There's a couple of options which could happen with the snakes, depending on what the actual species is. Quarantine will make a decision whether they'll decide to re-export the snakes overseas to be put back into their natural habitation. Otherwise, unfortunately, they could possibly be destroyed.
So can you please place your passport on the desk?
That's my passport, okay? Please, leave it alone.
Put your passport on the desk, please, sir.
Leave me alone, that's my passport, okay?
All right, then.
Protective Services has been called to assist Customs to retrieve a passport from an irate passenger who's refusing to pay duty on his cigarettes.
Got support from the Australian Protective Services to calm the passenger down and retrieve the passport that we need for our procedures. It doesn't sound to be very calm at all, but we just need to complete our formalities. We just can't take cigarettes off people and say, yeah, we have to keep them. There's paperwork involved. So once we're teed up, I'm happy for him to leave the airport because he's been risk assessed everywhere else. He's just very angry for some reason that we don't know, and we probably will never know.
Well, even my cigarette they took me. I got 1 cup cigarette. You don't want to talk, eh?
The passenger is escorted from the airport, still enraged with the situation.
He's an old man. He might really like cigarettes. He can't afford them. He made claims that if we make him pay $100, he can't feed his kids, but that's not an issue. If he doesn't want to pay, then we can keep them. It didn't cost him $100 wherever he bought them from. They're probably very cheap overseas, and when you exceed the limit, you have to pay the tax.
Outside, the passenger finally appears to calm down. after discovering 3 live snakes in packages sent from Thailand. Customs Investigating Officer Adam takes the reptiles to quarantine.
Reptiles can have diseases that can be dormant for 7 to 14 years. So basically we're a little bit concerned with, even though the animal looks all right, it could actually have some diseases.
With the boxes clean of all germs and viruses, they're no longer at quarantine risk.
What happens now is we'll take this package, we'll take it back, we'll make some further inquiries into some of the people who might be related into the importation, and hopefully from there we'll execute some warrants and then try and catch the people that are responsible.
Customs and quarantine consider this sickening disregard for wildlife a very serious offence.
I'm not very impressed personally. I really think if you're going to... Someone wants a snake, they can go through the process with the national parks and get a permit and then keep it properly. Most of the people that try and smuggle them in do it only for the money or because they think they look nice, but they don't really think about the quarantine risk. There can actually be diseases these guys could bring in, can actually destroy our entire reptile population. So I don't understand people who want to actually bring them in because they basically could be cutting their own throat and then not having any reptiles.
The only thing left is to decide exactly what to do with the snakes. With re-export not an option, Chris is left with no choice but to administer a very unfortunate fate on these beautiful creatures.
Since Thailand would not be prepared to take them back, they're not a protected species, and the quarantine risk is too high. They will actually now be humanely euthanized. But it's very sad, and it's not what I like doing. But it's better for all reptiles in Australia to do it now than take any risk with them.
In immigration, New Zealand man Elvis has just arrived with plans of doing a 2-month work exchange program at an abattoir. But if he's to be granted a visa, he has his work cut out for him, as he's got an extensive criminal past that includes jail time.
He's got a situation where he's declared criminal convictions on his incoming passenger card. For us, that means that he's unable to be granted what we call a special category visa, which we grant to New Zealanders when they arrive in Australia. By not granting the special category visa, it means we need to then look further into his criminal history to see if he's of suitable character to let into Australia.
If he has any chance of being allowed to work in Australia, Officer Paul will need to know the exact circumstances surrounding his prison sentence.
What you have shown us on this shows that you have received in October and November 2000 a criminal conviction of 3 years imprisonment.
Yep.
You have told us on your statement that you served 9 months in prison.
Correct.
And then you did 3 months in home detention.
That's right.
If you have more than 12 months jail sentence,
Yep.
then that means we cannot automatically grant you a special category visa. We have to look at your case further to decide whether or not we can grant you a visa to enter Australia,
Yep.
or if the criminal record is such that it means we'll have to return you to New Zealand, right?
At Sydney Airport, a quarantine baggage search has just uncovered a suspicious quantity of undeclared jewellery, and now Customs is involved.
Yeah, X-rays from quarantine showed their bag was full of something, so they called us over. Upon first inspection, you know, went from a little bit of jewellery to more, you know. As soon as you see something like that, you know that it's for sale purposes.
Madam, is this your name? This is your signature? Can you answer these questions yourself? Okay, this baggage belongs to you? Okay, and you packed it yourself?
The woman from China is being tight-lipped about the goods, keeping her cool and claiming that her jewellery is all strictly for personal use.
Do you see over here how it says goods over $900? You need to declare, and it also says here goods, samples, used for commercial use.
You know what I mean?
You didn't know?
Nah. Sorry. First time, nah.
See, it's not one or two things. You've got the whole bench. Like for me, if you have a look at that, for me, it looks like you're coming here to sell it. That doesn't look like personal use. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
During a routine inspection of packages arriving from England, quarantine officers at the Air Cargo Unit in Sydney have come across a very strange-looking box headed for rural Australia.
It's a wooden item on the X-ray. Its declaration says it's an antique of 100 years old, so wood of 100 years old is quite a concern because it could have a lot of insect damage. Yeah, so I'm going to have a look.
It's an unusual shape and hard to know what it is. So at this stage, Rachel really doesn't know what she's dealing with.
Wooden box, it's got some leather on it. It seems to be all these holes and sort of it's been eaten up by probably some kind of insect. Bit of damage there.
The insect damage is of great concern to quarantine, as it could mean that the insect is still alive.
Well, there's a lot of things in wood. It could have borer holes all through it. A lot of, as I said, insect damage, and depending on what type of item it is and where it is put, if the insects are still alive, if there's insects, it could transfer to other things and infest our country.
But the real surprise is in the box, and it's a very old and rare species. New Zealand man Elvis has come to Australia on a work exchange program with a regional meat processing plant. With an extensive criminal record, he needs to prove to immigration that he's suitably rehabilitated and won't pose a threat in Australia.
Do you agree that you have a substantial criminal record?
Yes, I agree.
Okay. Can you describe to me the circumstances surrounding your conviction?
I got involved with a group of guys, young guys, in 1998, and we got involved in stealing motorbikes, four-wheeler motorbikes. It started off small by one motorbike and eventuated into a lot of motorbikes.
By a lot, how many would you mean?
I think total would have been 30 motorbikes, probably, max.
And what actually happened to these motorbikes? Did you keep them yourself or on-sell them?
No, they were sold on to other people.
So it's like there was a network of people involved?
Yeah. It started off small, and then it eventuated into a sort of a crime ring.
Okay. What happened to the money from the proceeds of the sales?
Funny. Well, my position was what we call a boy, just a runner. Get in, get the bikes, and get out. So I saw no part of the money.
So did you benefit from this?
In the long run, no.
Okay.
Financially, no. No, it was a promise everything and got nothing from it. So, end of the day, I lost out, and I got this record for it.
Okay, so you didn't actually get any financial gain.
Nothing.
So you did it all for no benefit whatsoever, as it turned out.
Yep.
Okay.
Pretty much.
Okay. Well, it seems to me that 3 years is a significant prison term to receive.
Yep.
So that makes it a fairly serious offence.
Elvis might have served his sentence 6 years ago, but immigration officers have to follow the law. It could mean his hopes of working in Australia are about to come to a screeching halt. Quarantine officers at Sydney's Air Cargo Unit have come across a rare find. But because they've been focusing on the exterior of the box, they've yet to discover just how extraordinary it really is.
It looks valuable. Yeah, it's over 200 years old, and it's a document to King George III. It's greetings to His Majesty, so it's something probably written to or given to King George III. There's also like an accompanying letter which talks about a last will and testament of somebody. It talks about the details of the will, like what name can be used for a certain person, can use someone's name, and all sorts of unusual sort of details about a will. And it looks like King George III wrote it about somebody's last will and testament.
This is an extraordinary family heirloom signed by the King of England over 200 years ago. But as beautiful and rare as it may be, if it has an infestation of any kind, without treatment, it will not be allowed into the country.
I'm going to see Ross in entomology because it is so old and there is so much insect damage. I prefer someone with a lot more expertise in that field to take a look.
At Sydney Airport, customs officers are trying to get a straight answer out of a woman who is carrying a conspicuously large amount of undeclared jewellery in her luggage.
My problem is at the moment that you're telling me that this is all for personal use.
Yeah.
Because look, if you have a look there, it's about 20 bangles.
For the friends.
So you're saying that you've got them for presents for friends? Is there anything else anywhere else?
Despite the passenger's denials, this is clearly a commercial quantity of jewellery. So far, there are holes in her story, and she still seems to be hiding something.
Can you tell me who is your husband? Why are you carrying your husband's credit card?
Because he's my husband.
Even though she says it's her husband's, carrying a credit card in another person's name will often arouse suspicion.
Listen to what I'm going to tell you. You don't have to say or do anything, but anything you do say or do may be used in evidence. Do you understand that?
Quarantine officer Rachel is taking a priceless heirloom from the era of King George III to entomology for assessment.
The documents themselves are beautiful and they're in great condition, but the box is the thing that is the quarantine risk.
Yeah. You know, I've been here for nearly 10 years and I don't think I've ever seen anything like this before. It's one of those things that comes along just once and you might never ever see anything like that again. And if it's 200 years old, I want to be very, very careful with how I handle it. You can actually see these little black pellets. That's the frass, what we call the frass of the insect. So, and this looks like typical what they call case moth or clothing moth damage. And that's where it's eaten away at all this leather. And there are some exotic, we call them tenaids, case moths. And there are some exotic ones. Unfortunately, a couple have been introduced into Australia.
But if a foreign species has caused this damage and it's still in the box, quarantine can't allow it into the country until it has been properly treated.
Here the wood's starting to get chewed, but then again there's a whole lot of frass in there.
In immigration, officers are trying to decide whether to grant New Zealand man Elvis a work visa after discovering he received a 3-year prison sentence 6 years ago.
Having regard to your past criminal behaviour and your present behaviour over more recent times, do you agree that you are not of good character?
Oh, I disagree.
You disagree?
Yeah, that I'm not of good character.
So you would...
Oh, no, I would be of good character. Sorry.
You would state that you are of good character now?
Yes, most definitely. Yes.
And you haven't had any run-ins with the police? You haven't offended in any way since then?
I lost my licence for 3 months due to demerit points.
Right. That was because of demerit points. So what were the
tickets?
Speeding tickets. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Rushing to work.
Okay, so you haven't been associated in any groups or gangs of criminals or anything like that since 2000 basically?
No.
Okay, that's great.
Elvis's criminal days appear to be behind him, but rules are rules.
Obviously there's rules that we have to follow. There's very strict processes in place that ensure that we get the right outcome for the people. A lot of these cases there's quite compelling circumstances which might push the eventual result in one direction. In other cases, it might well go the other way.
A commercial quantity of jewellery has been found in a passenger's bags. This undeclared haul could be just the beginning, as officers have now discovered she was not travelling alone.
Oh, where's this person?
My husband.
Ah, it's your hubby.
Is that him?
Yes.
Was he travelling with you here?
Yes.
Okay. Where is he now? Outside?
Maybe.
Was he carrying any jewellery with him? We'll bring him in now, so if you can tell us now if he's carrying jewellery before we bring him in, that'd be very helpful.
Yeah, a little bit.
He's carrying jewellery as well? Okay. Can you escort her out, bring her back in?
If they locate him and he's also carrying jewellery, the couple could be in serious trouble.
These ribbons have been
over at the entomology lab at the air cargo unit, officers are inspecting a badly moth-eaten box to determine what action needs to be taken before they can allow it to continue its journey into rural Australia.
It's a solid part of somebody's history, and it's a document that's been signed by, you know, the King of England back in the 1750s, 1760s, which is just, to have some document like that signed by the King, it's a priceless document. So I think probably the best thing is if we put that in a freezer for 10 days at negative 18 degrees, that'll kill any eggs or pupae that could be in there, eliminates the risk.
Seeing it's so old.
As I said, look, I've been here for nearly 10 years and never seen anything like that before, so it's one of those things I'll probably never see again.
It will be cold treated in a freezer for 10 days in minus 18 degrees and then sent on to the lucky owner finally and completely insect-free. In immigration, Officer Paul consults with his supervisor. He's looking for a reason as to why New Zealand man Elvis should be allowed to work in Australia.
He has several convictions. His main conviction relates to being involved in a gang in New Zealand in 1997, 1998, where the gang was stealing motorbikes and selling them on to other parties. He received a sentence of 3 years imprisonment, of which he served 9 months in jail and 3 months of home detention. He states that his sentence was shortened because of good behaviour. So he states he only has to serve about a third of his term.
But the fact is that he was sentenced for more than 12 months.
That's correct.
Whether or not he served.
As he received a lengthy prison sentence, he does not qualify for an on-arrival visa with work rights. So Officer Paul needs to know if there's any special circumstances that could allow Elvis to receive a visa.
If we make a decision today which affects the grant of your visa, so if we decide not to allow you into Australia, what effect would that have on your family?
My partner will be pretty gutted, likewise myself, and my family, I suppose.
Okay, in what way? In financially, you can still go back and work in New Zealand still?
I can go back and work in New Zealand, yes.
Okay.
Officer Paul discusses the investigation with the airport manager.
And so he's come here for a fixed period, is it?
Yes, he's come here for a term of 2 months to work a meatworks in regional New South Wales.
So what do you think?
I think he's a genuine character. I would think that there's very little chance of him reoffending.
But the problem still remains that he has had a lengthy prison sentence. This means he may be able to come to Australia and work, but unlike other New Zealanders, his work visa is not granted upon arrival.
But it seems as if they had no idea that there could be a problem because of this past criminal history. When's he supposed to start work?
Next week.
So now that he's here, let's ring our business centre and see whether something can be done quite quickly for him. Then we'll know where we stand and we can tell him and he can tell the employer what the choices are and what the delay might be before he's able to start work.
It's a very hard decision. He comes across as a genuine person and we don't want to hinder people in coming and going, but we do have to follow the processes and apply the law as it stands.
Customs has just found the husband of this passenger, and a baggage exam reveals that he also has a huge quantity of undeclared jewellery.
You remember outside how I asked you if you have any jewellery? You said you have a little bit. You've got half a bag. You said you had a couple of things for the hair. What are you going to do with this jewellery?
My wife do the during the job here.
A job? Yeah. So she's not using it for her personal use? Because she told us she's using it for herself.
The The undeclared merchandise was held by customs because the couple failed to follow correct importation procedures. In immigration, Officer Paul is wrapping up an investigation into a passenger just arrived from New Zealand. Elvis was here to start a 2-month work exchange program with an abattoir, but a lengthy prison sentence means that might not be possible.
What we find is that we can grant you a border visa to enter Australia. That's for a maximum of 30 days only, but doesn't have work rights attached to it. So the problem you have is that we can let you into Australia, but you cannot work. What you'll need to do is apply for a different type of working visa, but that has to be back in New Zealand. It all comes down to the fact that you took the wrong way to come over here. If you'd applied at the embassy in the first place, it wouldn't have been a problem. You would have got the right visa or the right advice, and it might have changed your mind.
If I wanted to come back, if I go through the right procedure, is that possible?
Absolutely. You can come back. You can get a work visa. The work visa that seems to suit you is a 3-month work visa or greater.
Yep.
But you make your own inquiries with immigration on that to see if there's something else that might suit you anyway.
Okay.
So I can give you some time to think about what you want to do if you like. You don't have to make a decision right here and now.
No, I think I might choose to just go home.
Back home. It's not a great situation, is it?
Oh, well, it happens, right?
Okay. Interview suspended, 11:35. The passenger has decided that he will return to New Zealand voluntarily and proceed with that path. So the result is he's going back home, expected to go on a flight back home today.
If I can sort some paperwork out, or if it suits me, hopefully I'll be able to come back and just go straight through. But I suppose that's how the cookie crumbles. I suppose you do your time, you do the crime, you do your time.